The era of metal has begun, and metal shall prevail. For we know what they have done. 5 legends of our realm who sought to follow the path of their dark musings. But they did not know what they had summoned. Pentakill. To these creatures, there is but one thing left to do. Heavy metal. The era of metal has begun, and metal shall prevail. For we know what they have done. 5 legends of our realm who sought to follow the path of their dark musings. But they did not know what they had summoned. Pentakill. To these creatures, there is but one thing left to do. Heavy metal.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Riot Oceanic Regional Finals here for 2014 at the wonderful EB Expo. I am, of course, Max Atlas Anderson, and I will be your host / shoutcaster over the next 3 days when we do experience these incredible games. The first one of which is going to be the Chiefs taking on underdogs Zero, who came through the Road to Glory competition. And without further ado, we're going to throw it over to our caster desk to take us into the game.
And thank you very much, Atlas. Welcome, everyone, to the 2014 It's EB Expo Oceanic Regional Final here in the round of 8. Of course, I'm Julian, Pastry Time Card, joined here by Jake, Spawn Tiberi. Spawn, how you feeling, man?
Yeah, I'm feeling awesome, Pastry Time, as we get into what should be a great whole weekend, but a great first set.
That's true, and it's only kind of half the games as well in the round of 8. We're playing 4 here and then 4 somewhere else as well. Not to mention, of course, that big final coming through a pack. So lots and lots of League of Legends coming up in the Oceanic region in about a month or so. It should be a lot of fun. But this game in particular is insane because it's Chiefs. Maybe still the best team. It's hard to say after all the shake-up from the last event, but Zero are basically the heroes here. They've never really played in a tournament. They're this LAN Cafe team that's come up. If they do well here, Jesus, it's a big win.
Yeah, definitely is, especially against a team like Chiefs. As we saw them lose, actually, coming in for the first time in a long time against that legacy lineup, but then the local team from the Internet Cafe coming through. They have some veterans on the lineup like Chenny Boy, but then the rest of the team is reasonably new. And have they built the synergy yet? That's the question we need to find out.
Yeah, experience is a big thing when you're playing on a stage this big, and the Chiefs definitely have a lot of experience. They've basically been dominating the scene in one way or another for about 3 or 4 years, like a really, really long time. And their loss, as you said, was a big, big upset coming into that Winter Regional. But, I mean, they're coming here definitely with something to prove. They do not want to drop another big title here in Australia. And they've got to get through Zero first. And you know what? They may be the 8-seeded team. I guess everyone's expecting them to lose, but you cannot sleep on any team in this tournament.
Yeah, and we've seen what happens when you do. UTS, of course, Chenny Boy was on that team, came up with a huge win against NV last time around, and of course they're going to try and do the same thing against the Chiefs.
Yes, remember we've got an upper and a lower bracket here as well. Our 4 games will be played over, the 4 teams that are here at EB Expo, Chiefs, Zero, of course, this game, and then Dials and Immunity will be battling out basically over the whole weekend here for some sweet Oceanic esports. But this is our first one. We've got Dials and Immunity tomorrow, and then of course those teams, once you lose, you're still not out. You get to keep playing through and try and make it to that round of 4, make it to the big final there.
Yeah,
PAX in Melbourne.
Double chance eliminations are so crucial in tournaments like this because you don't want to run up against someone like a Chiefs or the new Immunity lineup because they're so strong at the moment. But then of course you get that second chance to come back through and prove that you can fight your way back into the finals.
Yeah, and it's finally one of those tournaments where it feels like we're in a place now where the top teams are really, really good. And, you know, before one team kind of could win everything, but they're no longer the case anymore. It's really hard to win an Oceanic tournament if you're an Oceanic team. And that's not something I could have said until the last event.
Yeah, definitely not. We have teams like Direwolves. We're going to see Avant when we go over to Armageddon. These teams that have come recently together have really put their stamp on, and they're playing their own kind of games. No one's trying to take Immunity's game style to them anymore. Sorry, the Chiefs' game style. Now they're trying to come through with their own style of play, and it's exciting to watch.
Yeah, it really is. And I think the Chiefs maybe in their last event kind of thought, you know what, we are still considered the best team. We're the favorites coming into the last event, and they were. And it's really hard when you're at the top to keep winning, but we do have the lineups here, of course, as well. Up the top side there, that is the Chiefs. It is Swiper in the top lane, Spooks in the jungle, Swiffer in mid, Ro8 the AD carry, and Rosie supporting him down in the bottom lane.
And on the bottom side, sorry, we have RSI in the top lane, of course, that great rhythm player, Widemore in the jungle, Chenny Boy in mid, and then Moon and Duke in the bottom lane.
Yeah, and again, it's a best of 3 here, double chance, as you said, so still upper and lower bracket, you can still battle, but a best of 3, that's a pretty long series. You have to play a lot of times this weekend, potentially. essentially, if you want to make it to that top 4. So this is important. And, you know, Chiefs, they want to get momentum here, want to keep going, make sure they can, you know, put themselves in the best position to win this tournament. But Zero as well, they got here as basically the last team to qualify. They've got nothing to lose. They're going to be playing their hearts out. Yeah,
and they're going to be throwing everything at it. So it'll be interesting to see if they do have anything up their sleeve as we do get into it. Because there's unique picks all over the board. We have a mid laner typically that is a support player. Of course, Duke, he plays a lot of these caster support players. Expect him to pull out maybe even a Zyra somewhere along the way. Plays a great Zillion, we're told. And then, of course, RSI in that top lane. His Riven is feared. If that gets through at any point this weekend, look for him to go berserk.
Yeah, we've heard that it won't, at least in this series. Seems like Chiefs have maybe done their homework. But, yeah, I mean, that's a scary thing to have one champion that teams like, I just don't want to do it. I don't want to play against it. It's too good.
And we saw on his profile that they're expecting 3 bans to go to him every single game, which just opens up the veterans like Chenny Boy, who plays a fantastic Yasuo. You feel that has to be taken away because Swiffer doesn't necessarily like that champion. Of course, plays these long-range engage control champions. We saw him a lot on Nidalee. As we see, that is our key matchup.
Oh, absolutely.
And, yeah, his Orianna as well is great.
Yeah, I mean, Swiffer is like, we've said so much about this player as well. The star of this team, and now at this point again, I mean, Ro8 is pretty good, so they're all pretty good actually. But Swiffer's just shown so much proficiency on so many different champions. He's a big Twisted Fate, big Orianna, huge RA player. I know that's one you're looking for, Spawn. But I mean, you know, Yasuo is not going to be contested here, I feel. Swiffer just hasn't played it that much, and a lot of his really strong lane opponents, Choo-Choo's comes to mind from Legacy. Of course, the last event they played in the final there. Swiffer just doesn't really like playing Yasuo, so there's another ban. And then, you know, that doesn't really free up the top lane. This is hard. This is a really difficult draft for a team like Chiefs. Again, they're coming in kind of like, we're pretty sure we got this. But if they haven't done their homework.
Well, the thing about Chiefs is they just play pretty much everything. We mentioned Yasuo. That's probably the only meta champion that they don't play. Maybe Tristana, throw that in there for Radier as well. So, but the other thing is you can just kind of give them a team comp, and then you base your team comp around that, of course. They're the favorites coming in. They have everything to lose. Yeah, we mentioned the Ahri. I'm looking forward to that because Swiffer, great assassin player, but great mage assassin player.
Yeah.
He is the mage player. He's an AP mid laner. He doesn't really like these ADs taking them into the mid lane. So Ahri is that kind of champion that you can dive through the wind wall if they do take it against Yasuo, and he gets so much work done. Yeah,
and Syndra as well, another champion that he plays a lot of. And of course, we can't really talk about Swiffer, and they're going to hate us for saying this, without talking about Spooks. Big jungle here in the Oceanic scene, arguably the best in his position. He's just so good tactically. That's a big thing for me. Flashy player when he needs to be. Got a fantastic Lee Sin, and you have to at this point, at this level of competition. But Spooks just always seems to get in the enemy jungler's head, always knows what's happening, can read other lanes so well, like almost no jungler I've seen in the region. He's always there. Everyone complains that Spooks is always there, and he's especially there for Swiffer.
Yeah, and he has no downtime in his jungle. He's one of these people that, as you said, reads play that well, that you feel that he's either farming very, very well or ganking extremely well. It's just like he doesn't waste any time around the map. Also provides a lot of vision control over the top half of the map, which really helps Swiper out as well. I think that's the understated part of the game. Yeah, he doesn't visit top lane as much as other junglers do in the early part of the game, but the amount of vision control he gets down there just means that Swiper can dominate his lane.
Yeah, and Swiper is a player that loves to play big, slow, like almost Flame-esque style top laners. I mean, he'll play almost anything, from playing a tank to playing Tryndamere. It's his favorite champion. We've seen that as well, even at this level, which is insane. Who plays Tryndamere?
Yeah, and you have to mention his Aurelia. That is, when we were in ACL Sydney, so many of the bans that were thrown towards Swiper were that Aurelia, because if he gets going, with the amount that he can actually use that teleport to impact team fights, but then just be that one-on-one powerhouse, it's just... he's unstoppable on that champion.
Yeah, and the easiest way, I think, for me to describe the way Swiper plays is that he just slowly kind of buries his opponents. He just loves to smother them, deny them CS, complete deny waves, build up huge minion waves, and then by the time, you know, the enemy jungle comes, it's too late. He's already way too far ahead. And that's, you know, not discounting the rest of the team, which is also amazing. So, going to be tough here for Zero, but they're the hometown heroes.
Yeah, and anything can happen. And as we keep mentioning it, but they match up reasonably well. We've talked about the one-on-one prowess of Swiper to bury a lane, but then you talk about RSI, and he's all the rage around, especially solo queue challenger. He's a fantastic one-on-one solo queue X-type top laner that can start dominating and exert pressure over the whole map. And then I guess the unknown on the side of Zero, if we have to talk about it, is their bottom lane. They're reasonably new to it. Duke, of course, reasonably new to the support position as a whole, but Moon is an aggressive AD carry.
Yeah, and it's awesome. Like, AD carries kind of seem to have two modes. Radiant definitely maybe a little more on the passive side. Never mind. We're going to kick it into Champ Select here for game one. Chiefs on the left. They'll be our blue side. Zero on the right. They're on the red. Riven and Nidalee instantly banned there. The two top lane bans. Ari and Kha'Zix the next two as well. And one more ban left for Chiefs here. And as you called it, Spawn, two top lane bans already.
Yeah, and I'm not... it's actually the Lucian ban coming through. That's from the Chiefs. They put so much on that Lucian. They're willing to first pick it. So to see that taken off the board is something that I did not expect. On the side of Zero, they've taken away the Ari, so they've recognized that that assassin is so hard to deal with. And the Kha'Zix, look for a Lee Sin ban is, I believe, the third one because he's just so comfortable to first pick. That Rumble being taken off the board.
And we actually didn't talk about it. I really wanted to mention Rumble, but Aurelia's really good against Rumble. Rumble's kind of the new hotness right now, if you've been following Worlds at all. Oh, I thought he did it. Never mind. Jillian instead is going to be the first pick here. I thought for a second, I saw it locking in the corner of my eye. I was like, is that shouldn't have been? This is really happening, but sadly no, not this game.
Yeah, it looks like they will be going with that Zillion. Of course, that is more of a support pick when you talk about Chiefs. Ro8 brought that into popularity in the Oceanic scene before it was even being seen play worldwide. They value the passive so highly because it can get Swiper and Swiffer to level 2 before their opponents, as well as help spook out in that jungle. Yep. So it's not really for the lane presence so much, it's for that passive that brings it.
Yeah, and I feel like Chiefs trust in their bottom lane enough that they're happy to give Ro8 kind of a less playmaking support and really just put him on a strong utility champion with a really big ultimate and just kind of expect the consistency of Ready to kind of carry them through potentially an aggressive bottom lane here.
Yeah, and we've spoken about how it will be an aggressive bottom lane that came out, and you're exactly right. They're just willing to go even in lane, maybe just try and turn it into a farm fest, put the brakes on completely. As we see, Wild will be picking up Jarvan. We've known that he is a massive Jarvan player. And Nami coming out, so not the more caster-based support, just a nice neutral support, can be passive, but can also be aggressive.
Yeah, and Nami's just a great support champion. If anyone's playing support, you pretty much ask them, you know, what are your top 3 champions? And Nami better be in the top 3 when they're answering you, because she's just so good at what she does here. Interesting hover there coming through from the Chiefs. Spooks has definitely played his fair share of junglers, but there we go. And actually is going to be mid lane Zillion, it seems like. Corki and Thresh, the next 2 picks here for Chiefs.
Yeah, and a lane that you have to say doesn't have that much synergy, Corki and Thresh. Corki has a lot of upfront burst, and Thresh is more looking for those picks, whereas Corki just likes to bully you around in lane. So you look for him to be matched up with someone like maybe a Braum that can get in there and mix it up. We see that they run the Corki Blitzcrank lane a lot over on the side of Immunity just because of the catch and bully potential from that. But when Ro8 goes try-hard mode, we say it all the time, he doesn't like playing the Thresh, but that is his go-to champion when he wants to really win a game.
Yeah, and Ro8 is really defined as a player by being a playmaker, basically. He loves mixing things up. He loves kind of being creative and kind of inventing stuff. He's played Ziggs support at the top level here in tournaments. I believe the last one actually he played it. He likes to have fun, but he's really good and he loves making plays. And it's kind of interesting. I almost feel like the bottom lane might be at odds a little bit, just because Rady is really consistent, quite passive, and Rosie's like going, I want to make plays.
I'm so glad you kept talking because I was going to say the Corki pickup is fantastic because it takes Tristana off the board. Tristana can't lane against Corki. It's just one of those matchups that's really rough after level 5 and you just get bullied around. But they choose to pick it into it anyway, of course. Tristana is that late game hyper carry that we see so much at the moment, pairs fantastically with Nami. Of course, that Tide Caller's Blessing comes through. And Chenny Boy on his long-range mid laners. Once again, we saw him play Nidalee almost exclusively in Winter, and now jumping onto the new Nidalee-esque style champion, that is Xerath.
Kind of like new Nidalee, new Ziggs, kind of the new poke mage. A lot of teams really favor this. Kind of an interesting, almost siege comp for Zero right now, but the next 2 picks have already been decided. I cannot believe that Spooks got Lee Sin in the last round of picks, but Aurelia and Lee Sin, 2 massive comfort champions here for Chiefs.
Yeah, and Chiefs, you have to say, with the exception of maybe a Corki, we've seen this lineup out of them so many times. They're really comfortable, as we said, on the last 2 picks. Ro8, we've already talked about his Thresh. I'm sure Radiant can play Corki.
Oh, yeah, he loves Corki. He's played it a lot, especially when Corki was the AD carry for a little while. He's just played so much Corki. It's probably up there in his top 3 alongside Vayne.
Yeah, and it looks like that we're waiting on a top lane pick. And yeah, it is the Malphite. I spoke about how this is seeing much more resurgence against the Swiper, particularly because he plays the Tryndamere and the Aurelia, and it can just slow that attack speed down and has such good team fight presence. And couple that with a Xerath, who, if you keep people still, can just unload so much damage and follow up CC. I like the Malphite pickup, but has a rough 1-4 in lane.
Yeah, and again, if maybe Spooks does decide to visit the top lane, because, you know, he's not tied to Swift. I mean, maybe a little bit, but he can go to the other lanes. We've seen him do it before. This is interesting. I'm curious about the Zilean pick, actually. It's clear that they prize it quite highly. They first picked it here as their first pick of the draft. They clearly like it, but I feel like it doesn't fit this comp maybe as well as it could to say Kog'Maw or Tristana.
Yeah, and I like the Corki pickup even more because of that, because it does have some mixed damage that can come out, so augment the fact that Zilean won't be doing as much. Of course, an Aurelia with Zilean is always a good 1-2 punch, but overall team comp, I have to agree with you, maybe another mage would have fit a little bit better. They are lacking in a little bit of late game damage in this team comp, so look for that to possibly be an issue, especially going into a Tristana. They need to bury this game sub 30 minutes.
Yeah, it's kind of a very Chiefsy lineup in the sense that every player basically has a champion that they're comfortable on. Like, again, Radiant and Rosie, if they can, like bullying people around. Swiper never wants to leave the top lane ever. And if Swiffer can make plays, he's happy. And Spooks is on Lee Sin. With the Kha'Zix getting banned, I think Zilean loses a lot of value. And Spooks doesn't seem to play Rengar, which is the other big carry jungler that you might see play. So the comp seems a little bit off, but they clearly want Zilean enough that they're willing to pick it. And we'll see what happens here. I mean, as you said, definitely a game that they can win early here.
And the other thing is they don't want a Zilean Tristana getting through. So maybe they just knew they weren't going to pick the Trist. So they just didn't want to give Zilean Trist through first round, because we've seen what can happen when a Protect the Tristana comp comes through. With the Nami still up, with Lulu still up as well, you add Zilean in there, that could have been devastating just from an AD carry point of view.
And I think Corki, to me, kind of signals the mindset, at least at the bottom lane here for the Chiefs. They're just like, we want to go in. Oh, never mind. We're actually going to kick off level 1 here. Chiefs versus Zero here. Chiefs on the left to kick things off. Zero over on the right-hand side. There'll be a red team here for this one. And you can see just a couple wards placed down here. Very, very defensive setup here for the Chiefs.
Yeah, and even more so out of Zero here. They're just stacked on top of each other, looking to not be invaded on. Don't want to get picked off by that Thresh. And just looking to maybe go for a late invade here and try and take over the red side of the map.
Yeah, actually, I'm not... Oh, there we go. A few more wards being put down there by Chiefs. I was wondering why they were waiting, but they didn't want to have their walls thrown out when the buffs would be spawning. And, of course, lose vision if the late invade did happen. So, smart play here from Chiefs. May have spotted Zero actually at level 1, kind of moving through, but they're really committed to that brush.
Aggressive start out of Swiper in the top lane, as we do have a little bit of a pause. Going for that Doran's Blade against what will be actually a flash start in Malphite. With Teleport, I actually like to take Doran's Shield because you just can't get out-traded for the first 3 levels, and you get a free back and pick up your flash then. So you just burn through your mana, try and push the wave as soon as possible, and then you have a free Doran's Shield, which just helps so much, especially against someone like an Aurelia, who's just going to be auto-attacking you all game. But yeah, nice pick up there, but the aggressive Doran's Blade coming out of Swiper.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of interested to see if any teams want to lane swap. It looks like they didn't want to opt into it as we do jump back into the game, but I feel like this was definitely a lane swap opportunity here for Zero. You don't, as you said, you really don't want to lane Tristana against Corki.
However, we've spoke about how much RSI is that solo queue style top laner that wants to carry games. So I'm looking for the JK Smithy build to come out of here, the Niwa build, where he does go all that Magic Pen as well as the Sunfire Cape to maybe even try and push the lane around a little bit into his favor. Of course, being able to pick up those Sork Boots. As we see, both junglers just going to start on the bottom side of the map, looking for what could be a little bit of a clash at level 3.
Yeah, could have a 2v2 potentially up towards the top lane as junglers will move through the early buffs here. Swiffer against Xerath. This is a curious sort of matchup. I think definitely something that Xerath is happy here. This was the counter pick for Chenny Boy there as well. So he's pretty happy with what's going on. And Swiffer pretty much relegated to just farming. This might be the one game actually where Spooks doesn't cap his lane.
Yeah, potentially, of course. We do know, as we see a little bit of damage trade in the top lane, that's why I like the Doran Shield on Malphite, because he's just able to absorb a little bit more damage. But of course, he's got so much sustain, he doesn't really care at this point of the game.
Yeah, kind of interesting as well. We've seen a little bit of a style change in Aurelius as well. If you guys have been following well, it's Wicked, of course. Big Aurelia player there for Alliance. Max E, the new hotness, it seems like, and that's adds so much to any sort of pressure that Spooks may want to apply towards the top lane.
Yeah, if you go Max E with Sheen, first item, it just is so much burst damage that can't be accounted for, because of course you want to build that HP, you want to build some armor against her, go into Aranduin Omens early just to slow down that attack speed. As we see Spooks heading to the top lane.
Yeah, he's actually going to make it here, going for the 2v1 here. That's bad news from Malphite, flashed out of the way. Spooks does miss the Q. Nice little juke there by RSI. And Malphite going to get away there.
Perfect wave manipulation out of RSI, then walking back through his minions so Spooks couldn't get a Sonic Wave onto him, and then burning the flash only once the minions ran out. They look like they are going for a dive though. They don't know where the jungler from the side of Zero is, so they're going to back off, and the whole wave will be picked up by RSI here.
Yep. So Malphite going to hang out Jarvan, just kind of scouting things out, wanting to make sure if they did dive that he was available. Down the bottom of here, Nami very low here. Is Jarvan actually going to visit Swiffer here in the mid? He knows what this feels like, and there's the slow coming through, but not quite enough big Q damage there from the Xerath, and they are going to keep chasing. Double buff Jarvan, maybe enough here. Bottom lane already rotated up. Swiffer going to put the bomb on. Good damage moving through the sun, just missing there as Swiffer flashes at the last second.
But they're being pinched here.
Yeah, there we go. Spooks actually moving through. Xerath could be in trouble. Jarvan does go down to Rosie actually as he picks it up with the kill. And now Spooks going to chase out Xerath. Radiant does flash over the top. And there's a kill for him as well. 2-0 now. The Chiefs nice and early on.
A lot of over-aggression coming out of there. This is going to mean a whole wave crashes into the middle turret. And wow, this top lane is so aggressive.
Oh, Swiper forced a flash there. Now Malphite managed to get in there. That's a lot of good work done as well. And Swiper, I think he was kind of feeling himself a little bit, enjoying the aggressive lane. And all of a sudden, RSI really not being rolled over in this lane. In fact, Swiper already teleported there as well.
And he is 5 CS down. Of course, the wave is bigger. Let's go back to the mid lane gang just a little bit. Once you blow the first flash, why would you keep chasing through there? They had absolutely no vision of where the bottom lane had disappeared to. So you have to assume that they're coming up the river to cut you off. And then, of course, they would have seen Spooks actually running through the mid lane. On Lee Sin, who, of course, is such a good level 3, level 4 jungler. Just a little bit of over-aggression there.
Yeah.
And it has hurt their bottom lane because double buffs are now on Rosie. And we know how much he likes to get in the face of AD carries.
Yeah, I mean, this lane was already tough here, the Corki stretch versus Tristan and Nami, but yeah, it's just getting tougher here, unfortunately. And, you know, the over-aggression, maybe just a trait of some of the newer teams with less experience. I know that, oh, never mind, Rosie, beautiful play there, moving through. Lantern actually down as well, trying to get a kill to Nami. Does drink the bubble hook, though. Will still come out there onto Tristan. Radiant's going to chase through. Just a little bit of poke damage, but again, really positive trades in this bottom lane.
Yeah, but not a bad trade on the side of Zero. Of course, they do have that Nami that can keep them nice and healed up. So, not too bad. They are even on farm, of course. That is fantastic for Tristana. Anytime you can get reasonably even farm, of course, they did leave the lane for a little while, is a good thing because she will begin to outscale after roughly that second item.
You can see Radiant freezing the lane here as well. Just wanted to deny as much CS as possible. And this is kind of why this 2v2 matchup's a little rough here for Zero. See Zillion as well. Managed to get a tier very quickly with his 2 assists that he got. In fact, an aggression here by Spooks as well. He's typically a Sightstone Spirit of the Ancient Golem jungler, but he senses, I think, that he needs to be aggressive in this game, and he's going for Spirit of the Elder Lizard.
Yeah, and as we said, they need to get a big lead before the 30-minute mark, because otherwise, in terms of just scaling and team fight potential, Zero have a great late game competition, and wow, the
great
flash
play.
Rosie,
doesn't quite get the death sentence there, but another great play there from Rosie, just using this blue and red buff very, very offensively in this lane.
Yeah, and started the Duran shield, so he's got sustain in his own right through that passive, of course. Looking to mitigate all the auto attack harass that will come out of Nami as well as the Tristana.
Yeah, and you know, again, this is kind of a survival lane here for Zero. Spooks going through the mid lane, going to do a bit of damage here to Xerath. Actually will follow up there, bomb there for Swiffer. That should be enough. One auto attack just to make sure. And that is going to be enough there. Nice kill for Swiffer.
Yeah, able to pick that one up. We said that it wasn't much of a kill threat, but coming through there with the Zillion, able to pick something up early. He's got a CS lead, and he's 1-0-2. So going into the mid lane, this Aurelia Swiper Swiffer combo will be very, very dangerous, and they're looking to get some deep wards. This is so typical of Chiefs. Get that second blue buff now that they've got an advantage in the bottom half of the map, and really start to strangle the jungle out on the side of Zero.
Yeah, and this is kind of the one thing that the Chiefs really looked at after their loss to Legacy at Winter, was that, you know, they're a team made up of great players. No one can deny that. And that was kind of how they got themselves through a lot of the tournaments, and then they realized that everyone's getting better. That winning lane, you know, doesn't get us there anymore. And they started really hammering out these macro things like invades, and Spooks is a big leader on that here. We are going to actually have a contest here for Zero. We'll actually force them away just for now here, but Swiffer, once again, being nice and aggressive. Spooks does have his ultimate, but he's not going to go in for it.
Yeah, and it looks like they are able to force them off, so nice, successful trade there. Of course, Corky's now picked up his Phage. He's got some extra attack damage as well as some health against just a pickaxe. This bottom lane is dangerous on the side of Chiefs now. They're looking, this is their time to shine. This is when they're really powerful.
Yeah, so not going to get their blue buff, unfortunately. Should be donated over to Xerath there, it seems like, as he will pick that one up. Spook's going to head his way back to base. Likely going to run back and donate the blue over to Swiffer soon as well. And Swiper at the top lane, kind of pretty much done here. He's got his Doran's Blade, he got his Flask, he went back early for with the teleport like you mentioned, and he's got a Sheen now as well. So really set up nicely, pretty much across the board here for Chiefs.
Yeah, and we've seen that Tristana lately has been going the Infinity Edge. Against Corki, some people do elect to pick up the static shield first. Just gives you a little bit more mid-game power, although they do have the Zera, so they're confident in their wave clear. They don't really need to stall that too much. And wow, as we see Jarvan going very low in his jungle, he's just hit level 6, he'll be fine. Look for him to try and get some action around the lane now. I think he needs to head bot because this is starting to get extremely dangerous.
Yeah, you can see the CS lead really growing here, 62 to 56. I mean, Tristana, to her credit, not too far behind here for Moon, but just doesn't want to go anywhere near Rosie, who's got a very speedy. That's an aggressive mobility boot pickup. Just noticed that one. No Sightstone, no GP10, just all man items.
Yeah, and looking to obviously get an advantage through the ability to make plays. We talk about it all the time. No GP10, but that's kind of what his Moby boots are. Maybe looking to visit mid lane as well. As we see a positive train going in Swiper's way.
Yeah, Swiper just getting aggressive. You're on the Aurelia. In fact, maybe we'll consider going a bit further. Doesn't want to do it. Malphite had ultimate as well, so kind of unlikely to get a kill there. But this really is Aurelia's point in the lane, which she's going to bully Malphite as much as he can, and this is exactly how Swiper likes to play.
Yeah, and we see that he has got 4 points into that Equilibrium Strike for those that are wondering what his skill order is. Then he's going the Heaton style next. He's got 2 points in that one, leaving Blaze Surge at just 1.
Makes sense. Kind of the standard stuff now that Wicked from Alliance has revived Aurelia a little bit. I mean, she definitely kind of fits in the Worlds metagame, but
yeah, Trinity Force characters just are so strong in the mid game, so they're always going to be popular.
Great grab there coming through. That's bad. It's a Tristana. Damage moving in. Spooks is going to dive in there as well, but somehow Moon's going to live using the heal there as well.
The knock-up from Tidal Wave, I think, actually just cancelled the damage coming out of Spooks. Otherwise, that would have definitely been a kill. And able to mitigate a lot of what would have been a bad objective loss, although it looks like they might have to give up the bottom turret anyway.
Well, Spooks there does have a ward, so did spot Jarvan moving in. This Nami heal, though, the max W, really putting some nice sustain in this lane. I thought Trist for sure had to go back there. Getting poked down, though, do not want to get grabbed in this situation.
And the poke that is just coming out of Radiant, once he picks up his Sheen, he's going to be doing work on this Tristana. And Nami a little bit low on mana, so going to struggle to keep Moon healthy in this lane. And wow, the CS advantages across the board are just in the favor of Chiefs at the moment. 3-0, but 2,000 gold lead, and top lane is winning by 10 CS. Bottom lane's winning by 20 CS now. That is massive. And mid also has a 10 CS advantage. So just every lane winning on the side of Chiefs.
Yeah, that's going to get worse down the bottom lane as well. Coming through for Chiefs. The Swiper actually picks up the first turret of the game. Just casually bullying Malphite around. He's still there. Didn't use his teleport. He was hanging out in the lane, but couldn't stop Swiper pushing.
Yeah, I think he actually had to walk back. As we see Malphite now trying to go a little bit aggressive. Couldn't use that teleport, of course, because he didn't want to miss the dragon fight. He looks like he is going for the Sunfire Cape first, so potentially an aggressive build coming out of here of RSI.
Yeah, pretty aggressive across the board, actually, for Zero. We've got Spirit of the Elder Lizard coming out for Jarvan as well. As well, we'll be going for that build. Could still see a static shift here from Trist, that's for sure. Moon's in a bit of trouble, raiding in a flash pod, will pick up that kill. Doesn't need the land, just Valkyrie's out of the way instead, and Nami runs very far away from the heat. Raider a little low as Jarvan, maybe gonna get sneaky.
Yeah, they had actually sent Nami back there, and Trist elected to stay. As we see more action in the top lane, this isn't going to result in anything. Neither character can really kill each other at this point.
Yep. Standard top lane things.
2-0-1, 25 CS now in the favor of Radiant. This bottom lane is getting very far out of control, and it's just allowing Spooks to sit mid and really keep Chenny Boy down.
Yeah, oh, good stun actually moving through, bit of damage coming as well. Swiffer wants to get aggressive, he's got his ultimate, he's looking for the tower dive, Tidal Wave just missing her for Nami, and Spooks now could actually be in a little bit of trouble. Swiffer maybe a little too far forward, does ult himself as the Cataclysm comes down, but Zerat's here ready to snipe him off.
Teleports are coming in.
They are coming through now, Street's going to Swiper moving forward, does get the kill on the Nami, they're going to turn around, great hook there, but the unstoppable force moves in for Malphite as Rosie picks up Jarvan. Malphite will pick up the kill on the Zillion, but RSI, I think he's dead now as well, as Rosie and Swiper going to chase through, looks for the flash fight, does find it just there on the end of Malphite, and now that's one kill there. Raid is whipping in for the next one as well, and almost an ace there completed by Chiefs.
Yeah, and Tristana nowhere to be seen in that fight. Fantastic coordination coming out of Chiefs. I like the teleport coming through from RSI. Was able to get 2 kills for his team, but in the end, just not enough. This will be potentially a dragon, although it looks like they're just going to set up some ward for it. And a nice reset coming out.
Yeah, Spooks had to go back, unfortunately. A little low on health after that engagement, so didn't want to rush down for the dragon, but you can see Raider well and truly on his way to a nice quick Trinity Force here. And I think the double Dorans here for Tristana kind of tells a bit of the story about how aggressive this lane is for Trist. When you go double Dorans, you are just so afraid of getting bursted down in a bottom lane.
Yeah, as we jump into the replay, we see a nice stun actually comes out of Chenny Boy there to set this up, and Swiffer goes over aggressive. The tidal wave comes out, able to hit Spooks, and from here, it's just them trying to kite back. Of course, the ultimate that comes out of Swiffer is so important. Burns the J4 ultimate, and both teleports come through. It was actually Swiper that teleported first, which just turned that fight around. And from here, it was just all Chiefs. A really nice flash play actually comes out of here by Rosie to just make sure that they get another couple of kills. Able to hit both members. Chenny Boy there, a little bit slowed, and then just able to clean up the fight as we see Jarvan once again has been caught.
Yeah, and Chiefs just going to continue to get aggressive here. Swiffer, speaking of aggression, little too deep there potentially. Going to rewind his way to victory, and the rest of the Chiefs going to coming on through now. Chenny Boy in a whole host of trouble as Aurelia's going to dive in there. Spooks going to pick up that kill. Great play back there on the Malphite as well, and RSI nowhere to go, gets cleaned up by Ro8 here now. And again, Chiefs, they're happy to group early here. They're just rolling through objectives.
And we spoke about how good their mid-game team fight is. Why would you be fighting them? There was a Dragon that was just taken. Now they've taken 2 kills and a mid-turret. When you've got 2 Trinity Force users, 2 people that have built Sheens and a Zillion, just don't go near the team until late game.
Yeah, it looks like Zero might be able to get this tower down here in the bottom lane, so a bit of a consolation prize there coming out, but Tristana very far behind on CS here still. Trinity Force just finished now for both Aurelia and Corki now on Chiefs. I mean, it was already pretty bad in that last fight, but this is a mid-game power spike.
Yeah, and the Sork boots coming through when there's no magic resistance on the side of Zero's bottom lane, so they're in for a world of trouble with the Phosphorus Bombs and the Rockets coming through. If they ever get caught in a 2v2, that's just a whitewash at this point.
Yeah, and you can see Spooks again, aggressive build in Moby Boots and the Spirit of the Elder Wizard, so he just kind of wants to get going. And you can see Swiper returning to the lane. He's more than happy to sit here and fight this Malphite. And anyone else who comes, really, in fact, he's just going to go right in.
Yeah, looking to check the red buff, gets a nice deep ward down, and straight away, Zero just back off, although they're looking to now catch him out.
Oh, he does not have flash, but the rest of the Chiefs are going to help Swiper here, make sure they cut off anyone from Zero moving through. You know, a little thing there, but really nice movement from Chiefs to make sure Swiper didn't get caught.
That was actually a 4v3 that Zero elected out of there. They could have altered in. They knew that 2 people were bottom, and it looks like Rosie, not done with Moon, chasing him completely out of the lane.
It's just so intimidating when Thresh, with the mobility boots, is kind of sauntering fairly quickly towards you. I mean, Tristana knows, even if he rocket jumps well, you might get flared out of it, and then it's just all over at that point. Radiant thankfully was not in the area, but again, Chiefs continuing their time-honored strategy of just getting through the deep wards.
And there's a gank coming into the top lane.
Oh, good kick there from a Spook. That's an easy clean up there for Swiper. And that's RSI. Needs to hug that turret. He's way too far forward at that point.
Yeah, and there's just way too much pressure over the whole of the map now coming out of Chiefs. Nice sidestep actually there, and a stun. Big damage coming out.
Rosie,
They're going in.
Oh, Moon going really deep there. Rosie actually bubbled up there as well. But he's actually pretty tanky here. The ult will get thrown down and the heal there. So a bit of miscommunication maybe there for Chief. Spooks going to jump in there as well. Aurelia's even rotated down. And a couple cooldowns used there. And Zero, that was very aggressive. Still going actually. Swiper forced to get it out of the way. Equilibrium strikes away. Blade turns to a minion there as the Wraith camp was aggroed. They're going to keep going in. Rosie going to miss that hook there, and Chief, I think they've realized they've used all their initiation, and they are going to get up there. But Zero, really decisive play there. Very, very aggressive.
Yeah, burnt some summoner spells, some critical ones as well. A couple of flashes coming out, but RSI wasn't there. No initiation that they were looking for, and of course, Jarvan didn't want to ult into the team. He's not tanky whatsoever at this point in the game. That would have been suicide, but maybe able to push them off a turret here and pick up what could be a mid lane turret.
This could be 3-2 in turrets. Looks like it will be a Zero. They're going to clean up their second turret of the game. 11-2 in kills, as you can see there. And a pretty nice lead here for Chiefs early on. 6,500 gold to kick things off. And that's a big lead at this point of the game, just after 17 minutes.
Yeah, and the CDR boots coming out of Zillion, we've seen these come out as a core item. Just so important to have max CDR at all stages, not only when you have blue buff on Zillion, just because of how his kit works, of course, only having that 1 damage spell and wanting your ult to be off cooldown as much as possible.
Yeah, it's good you mentioned it, because the ult's actually already back up. We just saw it used in a skirmish, it feels like, and he's already got it back to use for the next fight.
And the next fight looks like it could be quite soon, as Radiant is a little bit out of position. Teleport is up for Swiper, but when you have a Malphite Jarvan, there is just so much burst potential for someone to immediately get popped.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully, Thresh is actually quite nice against a lot of these really divey kind of bruiser champions, because you can just lantern them out as well. So Corki has the Valkyrie, has his flash as well if it's up, and now Thresh can also help get out as well. So I think Chiefs are happy to opt into a 4v4 at this point, just given how strong Swiper's earlier is and how much cooldown Swiffer already has for that ultimate. But they maybe look for a dive here. Gonna go around the back, but no, we will calm things down just a little bit.
Yeah, dangerous to dive, a Nami and a Malphite, of course, with the amount of area effect pop-ups that can come through. It's just not a great idea. They can just poke this down with their Trinity Force on Corki, and there's not really...
Oh, wow, go in Malphite moving through. Swiffer gets bubbled up as well. They're going to dive through. The ultimate will get popped on a Zillion. The Spooks picks up the kill there onto Jarvan. Ro8 going to grab Moon up. Really nice move there. And the playback as well. Not enough. Yes, enough damage. As Aurelia will move through. Now the Phosphorus Bomb's going to chase in as Radiant going deep. That Swiffer goes forward. So aggressive with that bomb. I think Nami's going to be okay. Only just there for the fish. Two kills for one there for Chiefs. Not the biggest team fight, but they force them off the turret. They're going to keep going for objectives.
Yeah, they pick up another tower. They'll be able to rotate down to the blue buff, grab that for themselves. Dragon, of course, is 40 seconds away, so look for them to shop after that. And maybe some misplayed aggression there from RSI, just wanting to start a fight.
Yeah, I mean, that was a pretty aggressive dive for Chiefs there as well.
Let's take another look at it. So Malphite goes in, and from there, a nice Cataclysm, but there's just not enough damage after that point. Tristana hasn't got the items she needs, and with the revive coming through for Zillion, they just have the second life. The flash forward here, I think he was actually going for Chenny Boy. A little bit of a misclick. Could have potentially killed him. And from there, they'll able to rotate down, pick up the blue buff. They'll have vision control of this Dragon area now, and you can see what Zero is trying to do. They're trying to not be on the back foot. So they don't want to give things away for free. But at a certain point, when you have a Tristana and a Malphite, you have to say, guys, all we need is our base intact and the minion waves pushing in. And this game can go for 80 minutes, and they'll still come out stronger. They have this stronger late-game team fight. They need to stop forcing under secondary objectives.
Yeah, and that lead's really growing here for Chiefs. 8,000 gold ahead right now. Swiper is just hanging out in the top lane. Negatron Cloak there as well. Really getting a lot of that Malphite damage, and RSI has just gone full tank at this point, so probably doesn't really want anything to do with that. Love the ADC for Spooks as well, nice and quick to pretty much all the damage is either Tristana spells, Malphite spells, or Xerath.
Yeah, just no auto attack because of the attack speed not being picked up on Tristana yet. So they give up the Dragon, good move there. Send Swiffer into the bottom lane to pick up a minion wave. He's now got about a 70 CS, 50 CS after he picks up the next wave maybe. And wow, they've set a trap here.
Yeah, Swiper could be in trouble. He does flash out of that slow. Dodges the stun there as well. Nami can't find the bubble. No, not quite enough troops there for Swiper, who's going to pop his ult on Malphite in there as well. They're really trying to kill him. But Swiper's going to turn around, try and life steal as much as he can, though. There's the shutdown. As Tristana finally going to pick up the kill. But that was 5 people to kill on earlier.
But great setup. They lose nothing in return. They're going to be able to pick up this minion wave, hopefully, as... Ooh, they're still looking to fight on the side of Chief.
They have to be careful. I mean, they've got the Zillion ultimate, so it kind of feels like a 5v5 still, even though Aurelia's dead. There's a Tidal going to move into Chiefs, maybe a little bit too aggressive. This Spook going to dive in, absolutely destroys Nami, and now Radiant moving in. Swiffer on the front line is taking it up. Rosie going to try and play them out, just missing the hook there out onto Xerath, and Malphite's going to get blown up there by Corki, who's just doing absolutely ridiculous amounts of mixed damage right now. Swiffer, little low there, does not have his ultimate, he's popped it already. Jarvan going to dive back in, the Phosphorus run will pop there out onto Jarvan. Rosie once again, he doesn't even care, throwing out the death sentence. Swipe is back, by the way, so he's going to teleport back. And an extended team fight there with the teleport for Swiper really gives Chiefs the edge.
Yeah, and they're looking for an inhibitor turret potentially here, pushing through nice and quickly. With Trinity Forces on the side of Chiefs, they could definitely look to take this one. No, they're backing off. Wave clear coming out of Xerath, just too much. And once again, misplayed aggression. You got the kill, you got the shutdown. You can cut off the minion wave and just walk around and wave clear. Why are they trying to fight these fights? Radiant is just so strong.
Yeah, I mean, they've got turrets they could take, at least in the top lane as well. Get some wards to your own jungle, and that's the biggest thing. When you get a kill, you free up space, clear your jungle, because it's full of wards right now, given how much you've been pushed back towards your own base. So, yeah, Zero again, we kind of knew coming in they were a very aggressive team, but they didn't really pick the lineup that matches that mentality, I feel, and it's definitely being punished by Chiefs. Very strong mid-game, and honestly, for me, surprisingly, Chiefs are also playing very, very aggressively, even in 5v4 situations.
Yeah, looking to match what Zero is bringing to the table, and I think it's all around this Corki pick, which is able to get in there and do so much mid-game mixed damage. Hard to itemize against. not really, wow, as he goes in again.
Oh, Spook's going to follow him in. A good flash there from Chennybo. Waits just enough time so Spooks didn't follow him and kick him back into the team. So Spooks will just walk through there. Again, more deep bloods coming through. Malphite, though, in a whole host of trouble. Swiper going to try and chase him down. Has popped the ult.
Malphite, you need to ult away right now.
Oh, Spooks is here. He's going to have to get out. Does manage to get a do it. Spooks actually going to find the skill shot. Moves back through, kicks him away. Almost hits Chennybo there as well. But it's not quite enough damage. Chiefs, though, rotating towards the top lane.
Yeah, and with Malphite being that low, they're going to look to take what could be another uncontested turret. Thought Swiper could have tanked that one out. 2 members from Zero weren't there, but they're just setting up so many wards around the side of Zero now that they're going to have to face check something eventually, although the bottom lane is building. That's the saving grace here. Malphite can go down there with his teleport still up and look to push that one in. It could even take the turret by itself. That is a huge wave.
Yeah, it really is. Big wave of red minions they're pushing down. But Chiefs going to continue their aggression. Looks like they're actually peeling Swiper away despite not having his teleport. He's the one that's receiving that empty land farm. That's quite interesting, but I guess he is the best scaler of the team, so he might as well pick up any spare farm.
Yeah, and Seraphs has now been finished on the side of Swiffer, so he's bringing more AP to the table. And looking to trade some farm for a top lane turret. This is how Zero need to play. Just rotate around the map, pick up objectives where they can, farm out free lanes, look to get some wards around Baron where possible, and just not fight for another good probably 20 minutes now that the lead's grown to what is 11,000 gold.
Yeah, turret there is going to be picked up, so a nice bit of free gold there for Tristana and the rest of Zero. Spooks, though, rotating around the side, going to try and go in here, though. So does come through Jarvan, and whoa! Beautiful moves there from Spooks. Feels a very quick ward jump away out of that Jarvan.
But a lot of damage still going down, so nice cutoff there. Oh, wow, they're looking to go in. Yeah. Swiper is huge.
He's really in there. Is this Aurelia? He just wants to go absolutely ham on Zero. Jarvan almost low, gets picked up by a straight Transcendent Blade. But no, they're going to keep moving here. Really nice wave control actually on the side lanes for Zero. They're pushing the bottom and the top now.
Yeah, and great disengage. Able to get out there, blow some spells. Of course, Jarvan was able to get out without really having to flash. He didn't have it available. But another wave crashes into a turret. They pick up an objective, get some more farm onto this Tristana, and just looking to play their way nice and calmly back into the game.
Yeah, blue buff here going to be donated over. That's a steal there for Chiefs. As Swiffer will be the recipient of that one. Swiper again running down towards the bottom lane, going to clean out pretty much any empty lane that he can find. It teleport almost back up as well. He's been quite effective using that teleport as well so far in this game. Ro8 casually farming up as well. I mean, Chiefs, they feel like they've been in this third of the map almost for the last 10-15 minutes at this point.
Yeah, they're just looking to get complete control over the jungle, strangle resources, and now that they're going back towards Baron, they're going to be able to clear out all vision of that area. Of course, there is one ward still in the pit that they might not be able to grab at this point. Their buffs are about to respawn, so look for them to pick them up, go grab themselves another dragon, potentially, and then it could be Baron time from there.
And I talked about how the Chiefs, after that loss at Winter, really wanted to become like a more macro-focused team, you know, better warding, better map movement, better objective control. And since that event, especially when we saw them last play at ACL Sydney, big difference at that point. And I think the biggest thing for me is that there's 2 Oracle's lenses already completed here on the side of Chiefs.
Yeah, but once again, out-rotated around the map. Another free objective going on the side of Zero. They're looking to cut them off now and force a fight, but Zero's been very good at getting themselves out of these situations in the last couple of minutes.
Beautiful flank there coming through. Swiper going to move in onto Chamber. Actually going to try and basically 1v5 at this point. Aurelia does move in, but the Lancer pops through as well. Jarvan going to jump on the Cork, but he'll flash out of that one. Now Swiper rotating again. The Malphite ult is available if they want to try and find a good target. Ro8 getting poked massively. Beautiful ultimate there coming up from Malphite. And there's the shutdown as Chennybo going to pick up that kill. But Thresh gets Tristana instead. Chiefs going to keep going in here. But there's RSI taking out Swiper. That's another big damage dealer. And Spook's still running into Swiffer so low and with no ultimate. Malphite going to chase him in there. There's a great McHale's from Rosie. And the Chiefs somehow make it a 2v2. But that was a very reckless engage.
Yeah, just going so deep with only Swiper there as well. Chennybo.
A little bit of a bait there. Hope you don't notice me, please.
Wow.
Oh, Rosie.
Chennybo the ninja.
Dragon here though. Looks like Chiefs again really aggressive in this game. Taking a dragon like this in like in a even situation what would be a 3v3. Again, just very aggressive, but they're pretty comfortable here. They've got their smite ready to go. They do pick it up. And that gold lead is still mounting here. 10,000 gold well and truly now at this point. but Zero really fighting back here. This game is tipping a little bit, but it just needs to tip a whole lot more if Zero are going to make it out of this.
Yeah, they've started to stall it out nicely. You have to say they've stopped fighting in silly areas. They only fought when they had the number advantage there. They were able to pick up another shutdown, which was, of course, a Radier kill. And we saw that once they pop Swiper and Radier, if they can get them, there's just not enough damage that can come out of the Chiefs side. So if they can do that late game, say at a 40-minute mark, 45-minute mark, they can just potentially, with the 3 damage sources, roll over the top.
Yeah, kind of an interesting build here from Corky as well. I'm curious on your thoughts of Blade of the Ruined King after Trinity Force.
My thoughts are that it's not fantastic. I'd like to speak to Radier about why he picked that one up. I did speak to him about how Trinity Force Blade is good on things that don't have AD scaling necessarily on their abilities, is what I'm talking about, because it just gets you some free auto attacks in. Of course, we know that they don't really like to peel for Radier, so having an item like the Blade of the Ruined King does give him a little bit more self-peel. So maybe it's just he's looking to protect himself from that huge Malphite
from his own
that
team,
keeps jumping on top of him.
Yeah, I mean, Malphite Jarvan, definitely the self-peel worth its weight in gold there for Radier.
And the other thing is Corky doesn't really need to build a Last Whisper for a lot of the game because of the mixed damage that does come out, and of course the passive that Corky has. So maybe just looking to get himself a Bloodthirster, or maybe even no, he has got a pickaxe, so it looks like he will be going for the
grab
IA.
there. Nami going to move in. Lance's Raider in there as well. The fly, I think, just missed there, unfortunately, for Nami, who is forced to flash out there. Big poke coming out from that Corky, but it's not enough to clean up the kill. They will, however, pick up this turret, and they're going to do the 4-1 split pusher. I think they realize Swiper's just at a perfect point to be split pushing.
Yeah, and I think they've realized that RSI is the one that's really swinging the team fights with his ultimate, so get him away from the team fights. Perfect. No one else can 1v1 Swiper at this point in the game. I think even RSI will have a hard time doing it, as we see he's just taking so much damage.
Yeah, that Heat 10 style's really chunking that Malphite every time it's turned on. I mean, you know, attack speed reduction aside, Swiper's going to find a few more friends anyway. Black Transcendent Blades going to look to turn it around, but no, just clears the mending wave. Going to back his way off, and Chiefs have started Baron.
At Baron. Maybe they just wanted more Baron control, and of course, Blade of the Ruined King certainly does give you that teleport coming through. They're going to be able to pick this one up for free.
Smart tell here. Jarvan going to check it. Gets hooked though. Blade back in there as well. No, not quite. They're going to dive through over the top. There's Swiper. We're going to pick that kill. Jarvan's in the pit. Oh, he smites just a little early. And there's Spooks able to pick that one up. That was an interesting 50-50 there for Chiefs as Rosie flash hooks there onto the Malphite. Don't really want that guy, but they're going to move around. Good juke of the tidal there from Radius. Spook going to dive in there as well, trying to find the Triss. But he's exhausted, actually taking a lot of damage here, and he's forced to run away. Spooks does find another friend. Great long-range hook there onto the Malphite. And Swiper, now he's the one that wanted the top lane. Spook gets ulted by Zillion as well. He'll be fine, actually. Didn't even die. Very ballsy from the Chiefs.
That is patient play out of Swiffer that made the second half of that fight happen. Malphite was just walking towards Lee Sin like, please ult him, I want you to burn your ult. Didn't do it, realized that he'd been caught because of over-aggression once again. Had to go in, then the ultimate comes out. Wasn't even needed in the end. That's going to pick them up the first inhibitor of the game, and fantastic patient play coming out of Swiper.
Yeah, mid-inhibitor is going to go down now as well. 31 minutes in, the Chiefs picked that objective up. Still miles ahead on gold at this point, about 15,000 or so with 7-4 in the turrets and 19-6 in the kills. Plus, of course, I believe all the Dragons and all the Barons at this point after just taking that. And some kind of nice power points being hit here as well, but as you mentioned, Spawn, there's not really anywhere for this comp to go scaling-wise at this point. This is it.
Yeah, this is it. They're as strong as they're going to be. Of course, Aurelia gets massive and tanky and takes forever to kill, and you just can't hold her down because of the CC reduction. Now picked up a GA, so with the ultimate that's going to come out from Zillion and a GA, just ignore it completely. Just let Tristana try and run away as fast as he can. Yeah,
but I mean, as far as power points go, this is kind of it for Chiefs. I mean, yes, the gold lead they have will mean that because Zero are playing catch up on farm, that gold lead, you know, is going to kind of buffer them a little bit through that game, because the late game that Zero are trying to get to, where the balance of power kind of shifts, is just going to happen later because they're so far behind in gold. But the Chiefs, they've kind of got all the tools they need to win there, and they're playing a little recklessly in the later stage of this game. So they've shown a willingness to dive, a willingness to be aggressive. They need to just end this game. They've broken the base. Can't be much longer here, but if Zero hold out, this will be quite the game.
Yeah, and the longer Zero hold out, the better they'll feel about this game, because they'll say, we lost in the laning phase. Like, we had a good comp. I think they would be confident that they out-comped them in this regard. They just played the early game poorly, and then now they're too far behind to catch up. They even had some decent team fights in the mid game. Chiefs, of course, doing the right thing now. They're getting all their lanes pushing towards the base. now the mid lane will have those super creeps coming through, so they can just wait for that to come through. There's no one that can really deal with that wave at this point, maybe Tristana, and then they just go on to look to take some inhibitor turrets and end the game. But the longer this goes, the better you have to feel that Zero will feel about what could potentially be a first loss.
Yeah, the Zerath really helping. Spook's going really deep, kicks Moon out though, but Tristana's forced the flash out of the loop. Great Malphite on the Cataclysm they're laying through, but there's the kill on the Oceanic boys. Radiant gonna pick up that first one now. He's a little low, gonna have to back off Moon. Aggressive, but a great hook there from Rosie coming out as well. There's the double for Corky. 3 for 1, the trader. Spooks dies, going a little too deep now. Raiders should get, no, it doesn't get altered. Actually dies to Malphite. Picks up the triple though, and I think Chiefs are done here.
Yeah, they look like they're pushing through to end the game. Great aggressive play. We spoke about how they needed to do it soon, and straight away, Spooks just goes, wraps it up. That will be both inhibitor turrets going down. GG, game 1 going over to Chiefs.
Yeah, and kind of worth Spooks' life there, I guess, at that point. It's probably what he's thinking. He's like, yeah, it worked. It's fine, I died, whatever. He's going to hang out. No radius, so a little longer to kill the Nexus, but does go down there. Good game, well played to Chiefs. They pick up the first game of this best of 3 series. And a nice game there, but honestly, not quite the performance I was expecting. I mean, yes, they won the lanes, they had a good, aggressive comp they played well with, but I feel like they made a couple of mistakes, especially towards the end of that game.
Yeah, it felt like they were just roaming around the map without a purpose. When they sent Swiper back into the bottom lane, that's when they were like, okay, we've turned it back on, we're going to split push, we're going to pick up Baron, we're going to be able to win team fights off that. But you're right, while they were just wandering as 5, they got caught out a couple of times, they lost 2 mid lane in turrets. There's some promising signs here for Zero.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things where I think Zero really flipped a switch. Yeah, I mean, it's almost like they heard you. You know, we said, you know, they're probably going to end the game now. And Chiefs like, yeah, okay, I agree, we'll end the game. And you said Zero probably have to stop playing so aggressively, and they did. That's exactly what they needed to do with their comp. But, I mean, Chiefs, for me, that draft just doesn't feel that good. Like,
yeah. And it was a weird draft because we said that they went extremely early game. We saw them try a similar thing versus Legacy in the final game, and it completely backfired because Legacy did what Zero should have done. They just didn't fight them for the first 15, 20 minutes of the game, and all of a sudden their scaling champions just got out of control. That could have been a similar situation there from Zero. They kept fighting at the 10, 15 minute mark and just gave up too much of an insurmountable lead. If that team comp had have got to late game at 40 minutes, like 5,000 gold behind, they just would have outscaled.
And for me, it's the Zillion. Like, Swift Zillion was great. Spooks' pressure was able to get in there. He had a big, big lead there in that mid lane against Zerath, which seems like kind of a tough matchup, but just didn't fit that well if we are going to have a replay here.
Yeah, we'll take a look at the last team fight. We see that they're able to kick Moon out. He does get a flash and jump away. And look at the ults coming out of RSI. We've hyped this guy up. He definitely delivered that game. Maybe not in the laning phase. And from here, this is more that Chiefs is too strong than the fact that they played this team fight extremely well. The initiation was great. Rosie played a fantastic Thresh game, but in the end, that was just a bully play, getting in their face and showing that they were that far ahead and that much stronger that they didn't really care whether there was a turret there or not.
I didn't actually notice in the game until I just saw the replay, but Radio actually flashed over the wall into the base, and that's what got him the triple kill. That's the reason he died as well. He went a little deep there, but everyone dove Swiffer, actually, the Zillion, which is kind of an odd choice. And then Radio was like, whatever, I'm going in.
Yeah, I'm going in. He was the fed one on that team, of course. Corky coming up absolutely huge for Radier, so potentially take that one off the board. But there are some questions still to be asked of Chief.
And, you know, that might be fine here in this particular matchup, but not really sure what's going to happen as they move through the tournament. But we're not quite there. We are going to have another game coming up soon, guys. We'll have a quick break, and then game 2 between Chiefs and Zero will be coming right up.
Hey, beautiful.
We still on for dinner?
Remember, 9 o'clock. Ha! 9 o'clock, right?
How about 8:30 at the vegan place?
Actually, I'm in the mood for barbecue.
Sounds good.
Take a call and stay in the game. With the Plantronics rig, headset, and mixer, life comes to games like never before.
was nervous before, but you always have to be confident as an AD carry. I keep telling myself I have to be confident to beat everyone else. Keep telling myself that I will beat this guy, I will beat this guy. There's nothing impossible as long as you put the effort. That's what I will say after the tournament. Like, cause some people will just, like us, we're underdogs, like for sure. People won't expect us to win any game, I'm pretty sure this. But TBA was an underdog as well, but they won the championship. So nothing is impossible. I think we can make it.
And welcome back, everyone, to the Oceanic final round of 8 here at EB Expo 2014. I'm still Julian Pastry Time Card, joined here by Jake Spawn Tiberi. Great action-packed first game to kick things up between Chiefs and Zero.
Yeah, and two extremely aggressive teams. We talked about how Chiefs just donned a completely different hat coming into this one. Normally the nice controlled team, and they were just ruthless in that first game.
Yeah, I think they just kind of realized that, you know what, we're favored here. We've probably got them on most of the levels here in this game. Let's just try and win as quickly as we can. Focus maybe on the rest of their matches they have to play this weekend as well. And you know what, it's a decent strategy, but it felt a little bit shaky at times, honestly. And for me, the draft just didn't feel right for Chiefs.
Yeah, we spoke about it. It was a Zillion pick, I think, that was throwing us off. Just didn't make sense with the Lee Sin and the Corki, really.
Yeah.
Of course, it
goes
goes
okay
well
with Aurelia. Yeah.
But the other couple of champions just didn't make that much sense. So maybe it was taking the Ari away that put him onto something like that. As we said, maybe it was more of a pick away than a pick for. But yeah, it did throw some counterbalance in the favor of Zero, and they had some good mid-game team fights.
Yeah, I mean, RSI really showing up on that Malphite there in the top lane. I mean, struggling a little bit against Swipers Aurelia. That's true of almost any top laner, I feel like, in the region. But Chenny Boy looked good there on that Xerath. Moon looked nice on the Triss. Kind of once he stopped going a little too aggressive, realized, like, hey, this is the Corki lane. Don't really want to be doing that. But Radius Corki, you asked me about it before game 1 started. He can still play Corki, man. Come on.
Yeah, he definitely still can play Corki. I hadn't seen him on it much recently, but wow, it's still there, definitely. And just coupled with a Thresh, the picks that came out of the bottom lane were intense. If we see Zero play like that again, I want to see them go more early game focus. Like, don't ban the Lucian away. Pick either a Lucian or a Corki. Get themselves into a position where they have the Jarvan still. He's a great mid-game pickup. Malphite, good mid-game pickup. Just get a mid-game bottom lane in there, and they could definitely go toe-to-toe in what would be a very brawly matchup.
And I think the red side kind of interesting here. Zillion banned away, actually, there. Zero did not like that one at all. And Ari and Rumble are going to be the last 3 bans there. Chiefs, Riven, and Nidalee, and Lucian once again is going to hit it here. And I wonder if Moon plays Corki, if he'd pick it here, but instead, we might be getting something a bit different. And we'll see what happens here, but I kind of expected this, as we do have Kha'Zix picked up, but I thought that Zero were going to ban Zillion, or it was going to be banned on the red side by Chiefs.
Yeah, and Kha'Zix, if we talk about the first pick, is just that new go-to flex jungler. You can evolve pretty much his W or his E, depending on whether you're ganking and looking to get some control around the map. And he's just so good in so many situations. Can go full assassin-esque with a full damage build. He can still go tanky and look to disrupt backlines. I really like it as a first pickup. And we saw that Jarvan, he had some good wombo combos in there with the Cataclysm into an ult there from Malphite, but looking to make more of an impact with an aggressive jungler.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see what Chiefs want to pick up here, whether they want to go aggressive again. I mean, again, it was very, very aggressive. You know, Corki's like, yeah, kind of expect Corki into Triss. And then just every lane, even Swiper playing that Aurelia, you know, a bit more of a mid-late game champion. Everyone was just going deep. Everyone really, really wanted to get kills, and it showed here. But this would be a change of pace. Wow! Rise and John are going to be picked up here. Completely different comp now for Chiefs.
Yeah, so Rise is, of course, extremely strong at the moment, but I just thought Swiper had such a good game on Aurelia that they would default back to that. They had 2 free picks of Aurelia Lee Sin without giving anything away from the composition. Like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But in saying that, Janna, we've seen how strong that support pickup has been. with the ultimate being able to reset, but also if you win a team fight, being able to heal everyone back up and then take objectives suits the way that Chiefs play the game.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, Rosie, we've played a lot of Jana. He's been playing League for a while, and I haven't seen him play it recently, I don't think. But I'm interested to see how he's like, because again, loves to play playmaking champions. Jana can make plays, but not nearly as aggressive as maybe a Thresh or something like Braum, which he's a little bit more known for.
It's also a Magi's champion, which
Yes.
Rosie's known for, so
Yes, he
that's
is.
good as well. Corky looking to be hovered here for Moon. I like the pick away. That's all I'm going to say. Duke going to lock in a Thresh for himself as well. So Corky Thresh, we're seeing her on the other side now. They're looking to be the bullies in this lane.
Yeah, and again, kind of suits the aggressive Zero team that we expected to see here. So do like these first 3 picks here for Zero. Again, the Rise is interesting to me. I mean, it can actually go mid. That's a thing as well. I know we kind of mentioned that Swiffer doesn't play that much Yasuo, and Chenny Boy loves to play it. Rise is really good in mid against Yasuo, so maybe there's a bit of flex pick there as well coming through for Chiefs. But if RSI plays Aurelia especially, that's actually quite good against Rise once she gets going in that lane, but maybe Swipe is just confident enough.
And wow, Caitlyn being hovered from Radiant, that would be a massive throwback pick, of course. Zed being locked in for Swiffer, so going for an AD assassin.
I guess we're wrong. We have no idea what's going on this game. I mean, it's not that he can't play Zed, but you don't see him on it that often. Ari's not open, sorry, never mind. Syndra's open though.
Yeah, Syndra is open. If they lock in a Xerath here, they have a fantastic poke comp with Kha'Zix as well as Corky and Xerath. That is a lot of mixed damage, poke coming out, and looking to set up sieges nice and early. Also a good mid-game fight comp as well, so look for them to maybe go once again to that Xerath. I liked it in the mid lane. I thought that Chenny Boy played it very well. Although it looks like they're hovering an Orianna and a Aurelia.
Yeah, I mean, Aurelia would definitely make sense in the Rise for me, and that is going to be the picks here. And Orianna, pretty standard, very safe into a champion like Zed. Actually, you get a lot of strong bully potential early on as well, so that makes sense. Caitlyn is really wonky to me here for Radiant, and it just for me signals that he doesn't want to lose his lane. He just wants to completely dominate it as best he can. He's counter-picking his AD, and he chose Caitlyn into Corky.
Yeah, well, we can see that they just feel that Corky is this lane bully, and you have to be able to match him in lane. Otherwise, it is just trouble at the early game. We saw Zach being hovered. Spooks love Zach.
And it's a Spook special, yes. He's played it, I think, once and maybe in the last 2 events. Oh, Rosie.
All right, let's not talk about that one.
To be fair, he does love that champion as well, if we want to talk about favorites here. Well, we'll see what happens here. Well, Lee Sin is interesting as well. Lee Sin's open.
Yeah, Lee Sin is open. Maybe they felt like with only the Rise, they didn't have that much magic damage coming out, although Rise late game is an absolute monster, that machine gun mage in the top lane. But RSI will do very well against Rise, of course, with the passive being able to get through, pick up some Merc trades. Aurelia is one of those champions as well that can actually go into a Wit's End reasonably well, which is a great item against Rise. So yeah, he's going to be able to get in there and tangle very, very well early with Rise. We spoke about the Chenny Boy versus Swiffer matchup. To me, this is where the game will be decided. If Swiffer can get ahead and become a split pushing, no one can 1v1 him and let his team 1-3-1 with a Caitlyn and an Elise, just going to be able to siege turrets, so much disengage that comes out of Jana, that they don't have 2 people that can match the split pushes on the side of Chiefs late game.
Yeah, and that's really the key word there. You said siege, and that's exactly what this comp feels like to me here for Chiefs. They've got the Caitlyn, they've got the Jana. They could potentially look for a 2v1 fast push as well, maybe even rotate Spooks in for a 3v1. But Elise is kind of that classic poke siege champion, because, you know, Lee Sin, he's got his ult that's decent for disengaging, but if you're either putting people under towers and trying to pick them off, or running away from people when they're running out from under their towers, Elise is a fantastic champion to have.
And you mentioned the 2v1 fast push. Elise is perfect. Ranged, able to dive with her repel, great execute damage in her spider form. She just does everything you want for a fast push jungler. So potentially looking for a lane swap here and get Aurelia away from Rise.
And I like that the Chiefs almost, to me, feel like they're mixing things up intentionally here, you know, played very aggressively in Game 1, and this is a completely different comp here. I mean, still very mid-game centric to me, with the exception of, again, Swiper's champion, Rise, which is very much a scaling sort of champion. But I feel like they're just trying to test themselves. You know, we've practiced all these comps. Can we play them here on the stage?
Yeah, this is a much more balanced team comp coming out of the side of Chiefs. It makes a lot more sense. As we said, there's a 1-3-1 potential coming out of there. Swiffer does like to be able to 1v1 his opponents, and he's on a very aggressive mid laner in the regards of Zed. And it's going to be a comp that on the side of Zero, they have, once again, a great team fighting comp, and Chiefs are just going to avoid team fights, it looks, through basically a composition.
Yeah, it's almost like instead of bullying them out in the lane, I'm just going to bully you with Kate and then take your towers. It's even less interactive, it feels like, than the aggressive Corky lane they play. But we are into game 2 here. The Chiefs are up for 1 game here. They're swapped over to the red side here for this one. Zero on the left. They'll be our blue squad. And again, very casual, very defensive setup here from Chiefs at level 1.
Yeah, and once again, Zero stacking is 5. Just making sure no one's invading, they don't get caught out. There's not even that much catch on the side of Chiefs this time around, to be honest, with Room Prison not being that much of a snare at rank 1. Sorry, and maybe potentially giving away a blue buff on the top side.
And that's the thing that worries me, is that I like this setup here. It's, as you said, very, very, very defensive here, kind of marking their red entrances and camping in the brush just to make sure no one can take it. But I mean, I guess if Chiefs, you know, look back at this game, they'll be like, oh, the answer's easy, right? What do? We just go ahead and take their blue buff. I mean, they're going to ward their red buff off now. Nice little trinket ward there from Swiffer. But leaving it open, but it looks like Chiefs, they're happy to play defensive here at level 1. They might opt for a late invade, but Zero here have set up really nicely.
Yeah, once again, it will be standard lanes as well, so they're electing for the Rise into Aurelia matchup. They could have lane swapped that. Zero had no vision whatsoever of what Chiefs were doing.
And I mean, Aurelia vs Rise definitely Aurelia favored once she gets going, but the early levels are really, really good for Swiper. We might even see an aggressive use of all the spells there to drain that mana pool with the Sapphire Crystal, and an early back maybe for a Catalyst or a Tear, and just to kind of get things rolling. So, as you were kind of talking about before in top lane with aggressive teleports and kind of get ahead early, Rise can definitely do that here in this lane. He bullies Aurelia in the first 3 levels.
Yeah, it definitely does. Chenny Boy looking to move up on Swiffer here. We've seen how much work, as we see, taking the command protect, Oriana's can do.
Man fighting. That's what's going on here. Swiper actually getting the better of a nice minion wave control. Uh-oh, standoff. RSI, he's committed. Swiper just going to do what he can. Chug a biscuit. This is, yeah, I mean, Aurelia kind of has to hide in the bush in this matchup, otherwise that happens. Yep. It's even worse at level 2 when the Room Prison comes out. You just kind of got to blade surge as best you can.
And the fact that Aurelia has to jump on you means that you can actually skill up E second, and if she does jump on you, the bounce just does so much early game damage. If you're away from your minion wave and you get the full bounces across, it just rips you apart, that Excellent Flux. So we will see that it will be quite a back and forth wave, although RSI able to push it up. He might get the first back here. He needs to be careful though. Yeah, he's kind of chugging Crystalline Flask and potions as well as best he can, but Spooksy's going to come down. Maybe he can look with a Flash Cocoon. Swiper going to go in. Will he look with a Flash? Has a great repel overload and the Room Prison hits in, but it's not enough. The Flash forced out by Aurelia as well, and a good bit of pressure there from Spooksy early on. But the wave was still pushing in the favor of Swiper, so CS denied on the side of RSI. Lane favor to the Rise, and without a jungle pressure to break the freeze here, they might be in some trouble in the top lane already. Nice read there by the Chiefs in the bottom lane, just splitting that hook right between the 2 champions here. Look at this freeze. Kha'Zix needs to get top lane, or actually Spooks is walking away. If Spooks had stayed top side of the jungle there, RSI would have had no choice but to back away from another minion wave there. Look how healthy Swiper is. He could have grabbed the wave himself, walked it out of the turret range, and had another free freeze for himself, but it is in the turret now. That will be cleared up. He has a back that he can go and just pick up a nice, potentially, I would say Null Magic Mantle coming out right now. Yeah, just something cost effective here. He kind of needs to get through the growing pains of this lane early on. Actually just picking up a ward and a Dawn Blade. A little aggressive there from RSI, but that's definitely going to give him necessary combat stats here in this early game. Yeah, it gives him some nice health. He's also not bothering burning his teleport to get up there, because look how close the turret still is on Swiper. And this is the thing about good Rise players, because of the base AD of Rise being so low, you can freeze for an eternity on Rise. If you just last hit at the last second, the wave goes absolutely nowhere. And then when it gets to about this point, you can just start chucking your spells at it as, sorry Swiper, you're coming under a little bit of pressure for your CS here, mate. And then just push it into the turret and get it free back for yourself. He's got a 10 CS advantage. Yeah, and Swiper loves to play this way in the top lane. He's, again, kind of Flame-esque in that lane. He'll freeze for days and days and days if he lets him. It's kind of why Spooks never goes there as well. He's giving him wall control, giving him vision, and then he's just hanging out, freezing on the turret. No worries at all there for Swiper. And he's going to starve this Aurelia, which is so important in these early levels, because you want to keep Aurelia's power threshold kind of around the level 9 mark as far back as you possibly can in that lane. Yeah, and 12 CS, he hasn't even felt the need to go back yet. No teleports have been burnt. As a 2v2 lane setup, there's no real danger of an early dragon, so he can teleport whenever he wants, maybe looking for tier catalyst on his first back.
Yeah, you can see an aggressive pushing it down towards the bottom lane as well. Raider a 10 CS lead early on. They've been chugging it into the turret. And this is one of the advantages of Janna Caitlyn. You can just shove so quickly. Not too much turret damage, but the Janna shield plus the build of a Peacemaker from Caitlyn just obliterates minion waves. Just that's what they want to do.
And this is a difference between a good team in Zero and a great team in Chiefs. As soon as a freeze happens in reverse, look who's top lane, giving cover to be able to farm, get that into the turret. There's no chance that this gank is going to go in the way of Zero. And now they can both go back to base together. Whereas RSI was under so much pressure when his wave was frozen in that position. Absolutely no pressure there for Swiper.
Yeah, and Swiper's going to return back, probably, as you said, going to walk back to lane as well. Almost finishes his Catalyst and gets the tier in there as well. And again, kind of extending the power that Rice has early on in this lane. And Spooks, if, as you said, Kha'Zix comes for a lane gank, he's there. If Aurelia pushes out foolishly, just gets crushed in the 2v1 as well. So really smart play there. Grab will just miss there from Thresh as well. And Rosie and Raider just hanging out. This is more of a calmer bottom lane for them, it feels like.
Yeah, lane advantage though, once again in their favor by 13 CS, 14, 15 CS at this point in the game. That's actually pretty big when you mention how Corki wants to be that lane bully. So Moon needs to get going in this bottom lane. Elise is also in their jungle, clearing out some wards. This is really, once again, really aggressive play coming out of Chiefs. They don't care.
Yeah, and I mean, oh, never mind. Spook's actually maybe going to look through here. Ult is up here for Zed, RSI low as well.
And look at Swiper once again, freezing the wave off the turret.
He's just, he loves it. I mean, he learned from the master. He just loves freezing lanes here. Spook's going to look for a gank in the mid, but he's just going fishing. Oriana's going to back away very comfortably there from that one here. I mean, Chenny Boy's Oriana, a great pick for him as well. He's going to clean up as much as he can. He's behind about 10 CS, which isn't too bad. And Super definitely looking to play aggressively. For me, though, that bottom lane is exacerbated by the fact that Thresh is helping with the Relic Shield there as well, and it's still 20 CS down.
Yeah, it certainly is, and we see that they are even taking damage from Caitlyn under the turret now. Nice CS from Moon, picking up every single one of those creeps. That's always fun to do when you're at AD carry. It's
important as well. It's not just fun. Really crucial when you're getting pushed in like this as well. And this is like two different sides of the map for Chiefs. Just trying to starve out their lane opponents. They're freezing here as well. Swivern's going to go deep in the mid. Does go in there. Flashes forward very aggressively. First blood. Ult shutters out of the way, and the Zed mechanics are strong.
Yeah, looking to try and get an ultimate out of there as RSI goes aggressive in the top
Does not want to pick that fight. Swiper's like, hang on a second. I'm going to go in. Oh, that's a good flash shot. Center Blade coming up, but doesn't quite pick up the kill, and Swiper knew he had the edge there, I think, after Aurelia went a little too far forward. Just gets away with the 1v1.
Yeah, that was a very close 1v1 after what was an aggressive play from Swiper. If that had gone the other way, he would have lost a massive minion wave as well. Although, does pay off for himself. He's got a 10 CS advantage. Will burn the teleport into the top lane just because of how big that creep wave is. And still no Sheen picked up on the side of RSI.
Yeah, he's got the components but couldn't quite finish the full Sheen there as well. So he's going to hang out, and Aurelia lost this under turret perfectly fine. Actually going to catch up on CS here as the minion wave comes in, but Swiper's going to keep doing this. And kind of the dangerous thing about this playstyle is that if you make a mistake and you get killed or the jungler comes, you don't have vision, things go really bad. It's all about building small advantages. But Swiper's been left basically untouched here at this point. He's going to just keep doing it, and Aurelia's not having a fun time at all.
Yeah, not at this point. And now it comes up to RSI. He's like, all right, I need some magic resistance. This Rise is getting big. Hang on a second, I'm split pushing against a Zed. I need some armor.
And now there's a Caitlyn maybe walking into my lane, coming to split push with a Janna as well, with that Max E coming out. So,
and because teleport was blown there, and he's had to buy again to go back and get his Sheen, CS still not in his favor. Wave on the favorable side for Swiper. No teleport because Swiper was able to walk back. They've got Dragon advantage. They're just building slowly into what will be a really good split push siege comp.
Yeah, and for me, I had a bit of a giggle as I just kind of was watching the minimap to see any movements, and all I could see in the top lane was Swiper's icon just micro-wing back and forth really intensely, because all he's doing, he's waiting. Minion's going to get low, he'll freeze once again. And I mean, Zero, they're not that far behind here at this point, but this is Chiefs' kind of playstyle to me exemplified. They love starving their opponents.
Yeah, and they've just got so much control, as we see. A gank coming in here from Spooks. He's spotted out by a ward, but with how low that turret is and the fact that Thresh has had to go back, they might not even be able to contest this, even if Spooks just walks into lane and starts auto-attacking the turret.
Yeah, I mean, Spooks is sitting on a ward. I don't know if they knew that. You know, throw it a cocoon, you might get lucky, hit someone. Actually going to go for a 3v3 here as Kha'Zix maybe going to set things up, but this is a big push here for Chiefs.
They don't even want to fight. All they want to do is walk up and auto-attack the turret. They got another third of their health down there. That's a successful gank for Elise. That's the turret going now.
Yeah, and as you said, a great pusher siege jungler in Elise. Has that range point able to go in. RSI going to go in again, but gets absolutely chunked by the Swiper Rise. I think Swiper only backed off because he assumed Kha'Zix was top lane.
Yeah, and wow, just so much damage coming out. Now he's got the Catalyst and the tier. He's scaling up nicely. On track for what will be about a 14-15 minute roller. And once again, another visit to the bottom lane by Spooks. No gank, just ensures that he's there for his team.
Yeah, probably earlier for the roller there as well for Swiper, especially if the Chiefs are able to move this Caitlyn around and get some objectives. Kha'Zix, he has to stay here. He can't leave his team in a 3v2 and potentially get them killed. The Dragon maybe is the next consideration here as well, as RSI struggling a little bit more now in this top lane. Swiper, again, he's broken the freeze a little bit. I think he's starting to feel that he maybe needs to get a bit more aggressive in that lane, and we didn't catch him, but Swiffer looked like he used his ultimate just trying to push Orianna out of the lane, and Chenny was falling a little bit behind on CS as well. As Aurelia going to dive in deep there. Transcendent Blade's moving in. Swiper kind of knows, again, the limits of this champion, backs away there.
Yeah, and once again, minion wave on his side. He has to be careful of his mana here. Maybe looking to get a level up. Can't actually see his experience because it's on the other champion. But of course, with that Catalyst, once he gets a level up, he's going to be absolutely fine in this lane again. With no Ignite, it's so dangerous to try and dive top laners, particularly like Rise. His flash is nearly back up, and wow, RSI taking so much damage.
Yep, Swiper's like halfway through to level 10 there, so it's like, you know what, I'm just going to hang out, chunk you down. You leave lane, fine, I'll leave lane too. And
he still has teleport advantage. It's going to be another minute until RSI's teleports off cooldown. Of course, that's about 5 minutes, depending on whether he took the mastery or not.
Swiper hanging out still, by the way. He's like, yeah, you didn't leave, I don't leave. And I think really, again, exemplifies Swiper's playstyle. Just loves to keep punishing people here. And I do like this roam. I love the roam from Thresh, actually, by Zero.
Yeah, they are taking Dragon, though, in the bottom lane as this is happening. Spooks has been caught out a little bit.
Great repel. Oh no, Swiper gets grabbed instead. The box popped there by Thresh, and now Swiper's going to get dug. Does go down there as Thresh will pick up that kill. And now Spooks moving in as well. Gets exhausted. They're going to continue the read up here. No repel left. Swiper's roam to the top lane though. He's going to clean out one as Kha'Zix goes down. Looking for two there as he tries to make the double. Gets away to a shadow. Actually. Oh wow. Gets the double kill somehow. Swiffer.
So who was actually hooked then by Thresh, who was trying to get a catch for his team for some action. Dragon does go down while all that was happening, but just a little bit of miscommunication maybe from Zero there. Chenny Boy not able to follow up and help Juke out in that bottom lane.
Yeah, wow. Swiffer really role-playing that. Ninja did not see him coming up to the top lane, but kind of knew again they were applying pressure, confident in the ability to take Dragon, even without their jungler, which is that's quite bold,
yeah,
shall
that's
we say,
risky.
there from Chiefs. It is risky, but I think they had enough vision on the map, knew what was happening, and again, going to continue to grow this lead here. Almost 3,000 gold, pretty much just based off map movement.
Yeah.
And lane control. Don't forget the lane control.
Yeah, lane control has been brilliant, but they have managed to go a little bit more even in the lane matchups. Of course, CS not blowing out as much as it was last game. We're nearly at the 15-minute mark, and it's only maybe 3,000 gold. So I think it was about 6,000 last game. So definitely a better start to the game as Duke's been caught out.
Swiffer's hunting. He does not have his ultimate, but there's a great cocoon from Spooks. There's nowhere for Thresh to go. Good knock up there from Rosie as well, and that's an easy kill for Swiffer. And this, for me, is the part of the comp I love here from Chiefs. I assume at this point, Blade the Rune King finish up for Swiffer. He's getting sent to an empty lane to farm in 1v1. Anyone that comes up, and Caitlyn John are at least going to go around and just siege everything on this map.
Yeah, and they're going to be able to do it without a problem. Of course, Orianna, good champion. Oh, wow, Swiper.
You mentioned that E as well. They did work with the Rise ultimate being popped there as well.
Yeah, Orianna is a good wave clear champion, so she'll be able to withstand to a certain extent, but they're just going to walk up and take...
Swiper.
Wow, he's really going hard for this top lane now. RSI will be able to teleport back into lane.
Uh-oh.
Wow, something
Spooks.
happens in the mid lane.
Silly Spooks. I don't know what he did, but it wasn't correct. As Chenny Boy, it's a free kill, no assist at all from his team. That's why we're going to get ganked. That's a really nice play. Does get the kill there, so we'll trade it up, but a nice bit of pressure there from Kha'Zix. Probably happy with the trade there. And Chiefs, again, get derailed a little bit here in the mid game.
Yeah, but able to once again force people up into that top lane as Swiffer is also being caught out.
The play does get used there. Thresh now going to get chucked out. Great shadow play there. Looking for the 2v1 here is Swiffer. Can he get the next kill? The barrier moves. He could flash over the top. And Swiffer, what a player.
Yeah, outplaying the whole of the bottom lane there. He's going to move in, be able to pick up a turret for himself as well as Jana comes in. And wow, Zed Mechanics, that was a nice play.
So he does play Zed. That's what we learned today.
Apparently.
Teleport moving down here as well. That tower actually, nope, not going to die. So RSI will defend it there. So, denied. Rosie actually in trouble now. Zed, come back. Swiffer's like, nope, see you, mate. Transcendent Blade's going to move through there as well. I mean, Rosie's going to keep running. Blade said should be back off cooldown soon and doesn't want to chase.
Doesn't want to chase. Doesn't want to risk the knock-up and a potential turnaround, of course. Haven't seen Spooks on the map for a little bit. So not able to pick that one up. Nothing in return. And meanwhile, in the top lane, I don't want to go back there, but Swiper has just frozen the wave again. And is just farming up a storm. He is absolutely huge.
Yeah, and you can see the gold it is, you mentioned, Spawn, much different than the last game. Only 4,000 gold to sit between these two teams, but so much control here for Chiefs.
Yeah, and a lot of it is concentrated onto the places than it needs to be. Okay, so there's only a 20 CS advantage, but there's 6-0-0 in the mid lane for this Zed. And as we said before, no one can 1v1 him at this point in the game. And then we look at top lane. Of course, Ryze, absolutely no problem currently dealing with Aurelia. Still hasn't had the opportunity to pick up any magic resistance. No Mercury treads as well, which I think is so crucial in the matchup. I think that's a little bit of a misplay to leave that one for so long without picking it up. And
Swiffer. Just Swiffer thinks. Yeah, I mean, I guess Swiffer was like, hey, Swiper, how's it going? It's like, oh, not bad. Enjoying the split push on the free. He's like, can I come up there? Sure, buddy. Have a go. I mean, they already got the bottom tower. Going to push this outer tower now as well. And Swiffer just casually 1v1ing the Aurelia now as well. As you mentioned, 6-0-0-Z, pretty scary. Now 7-0.
Yeah, and they're just pushing Oriana around the map. Now there's not as much wave clear. Looking to get some more free hits into this mid lane turret. That'll be going down in no time. And meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Swiper, with his teleports, you're still pushing.
He's found a new home in the bottom lane here at Swiper. And as you called it in Champs League, Jake, a really nicely executed 1-3-1 here by Chiefs. And the fact that Zed is just so far ahead here, a lot of the gold's got to be concentrated there on Swiffer. It's really hard to get out of the situation for Zero because you have no good choices, basically.
Yeah, and because Moon isn't the Fed member of his team, they're matching the... wow, as we have a fight.
Good ult there. Swiffer, though, going to move in. Does not have his ultimate, so he's going to have to outplay here. Does go down to Chenny Boy, who managed to clean him out in the 1v1. And Swiffer maybe a little bit greedy there without his ultimate.
That is a no armor Chenny Boy as well. You mentioned it, no ultimate, so just great read from Chenny Boy, of course, a veteran of the scene, able to come through, pick up a nice shutdown from himself, and this is exactly what Zero needed.
Yeah, I mean, someone had to go up, and Chenny Boy's like, you know what, I think I can handle Swiffer, and to his credit, absolutely did there in the 1v1. Now Moon going to get aggressive, Rady forced to eat away there, Thresh looking for the hook. Good damage and poke there coming through as well. Rady going to eat yet another rocket to the face, and he's going to be forced to back away here. So, you know, I was praising them just a moment ago for a great 1-3-1, but falling apart a little bit now, and as you mentioned, cannot crack that mid lane with the Kha'Zix and the Oriana wave clear. Plus Corki as well, actually.
Yeah, Corki has some nice wave clear. He had, of course, finished up that Trinity Force, so the burst coming out when he does pick up the nice phosphorus bomb coming out. As soon, the key to this for the Chiefs is they need to keep Elise, Jana, and Caitlyn as a 3. Because that way they can ensure that no one can jump onto Radier the way that they just did. With the tornadoes that can come out, as well as the cocoons, just means that they can walk backwards and disengage anything. As soon as one of those components is missing, they just don't have enough disengage to make it safe. And we saw how close that fight actually was, as we see RSI going aggressive once again.
Yeah, Dragon back up as well, so looking to contest here. Potentially our Zero Swiper down the bottom. Never mind, Dragon's done. As that Caitlyn damage is more than enough, plus the Z there as well. I mean, Ryze, you know, entertaining a 1v1 down there in the bottom lane. I believe spotted Kha'Zix off to the side, so they're not going to go for it. And again, they'll probably just split up if they want to. They could maybe look for a dive as well with their Z.
Yeah, I think it's very, very safe to just go back to the top lane with Zed. Once again, make Oriana go up there. She still has no armor, so I think with the ultimate as well as Ignite nearly back off cooldown, Swiffer will have a much easier time dealing with Oriana this time around. Corki is really the one that needs to, I would have said, even pick up Ninja Tabor and just try.
Here comes Swiffer, there's the flat forward, sorry, Swiper as he goes in with the Rune Prison, overload to the back as well. And Swiper knew it. He chunked earlier down already, just waited for the ult cooldown there. and there's an easy flash forward for a kill.
Yeah, and once again, now Swiffer in the jungle, just able to pick up as much farm as he wants. That wave is going to crash into that turret, and they're sending no one to deal with this Z split push.
No, looks like Rise actually could be dealt with up, cancelled. Swiper's like, hey, what happened?
He's still press P.
He's taking the shot him rated. Oh, Chenny Boy caught out that beautiful cocoon by Spook to set that all up. Good box there from Duke will get him out of the way on Thresh, but I think finally the Meteor is coming. Oh, Swiffer. Thresh. No, Duke backs away.
Yeah, so that was fine. Swiffer able to go back to this top lane as well. He might look to pick up another turret for his team. RSI is kind of like, okay, I can't 1v1 the Rise. I'm going to go try and fight Swiffer. Okay, I can't 1v1 Swiffer. Maybe I'll give Rise another crack. And it's just so hard to be pulled around the map like this. Swiffer going to be able to take the turret and then potentially turn on the RSI.
And that Tornado Possum, never mind, actually pops to death and wants to go right in there, actually. 2v3 right now. Swiffer's going to go through. And I think Aurelia, no, didn't quite get popped. A good monsoon there for Rosie. Going to keep Swiffer alive, who got back to his ultimate shadow. And as you said, when you have a champion like Janna, you can afford to either get engaged. Oh no, Swiffer. Good flow there coming up, and a great Q there from Kha'Zix who'll pick up that kill. Now Rosie getting aggressed on as well, getting ripped through there by that Kha'Zix, forced to flash out of the way. Had exhaust there as well, but didn't need to use it.
He actually upgraded his, evolved his Q second. Upgraded because he's a Mecha Kha'Zix skin, you know. Meaning that when it is isolated, it does so much more damage. Not electing for the slow on the W, which we've seen so much popularity in pro play. So he knows that with the split pushes around the map, if he can get in and influence a 2v1, the isolation damage is what's going to be key for Kha'Zix.
Yeah, and it really came up there. Rosie just getting massively chunked, and Swiffer finally being felled once again as Kha'Zix pick up a nice bundle of gold for himself. And again, it feels like Chiefs, they have their plan, they know what their comp is supposed to do, they scripted it this way, but just not quite managing to hammer it home here.
And Chenny Boy is starting to do a lot of damage. Oh my god, he's caught out right here.
That was a beautiful shockwave, but it's not quite enough. Repel moving in for Spook. Ace in the hole comes through. Gonna look for Thresh here potentially, who takes a big chunk of damage. Spooks with the red buff there on Elise as well. Now Swiffer gonna go in the air, just go straight in. Oh my goodness, Atlanta Road in there as well. He's gonna try and take up Moon. Doesn't get it though, but Spook's able to pick up Thresh instead. And there's the tally. Oh, the Ignite kills him anyway. But Swiper now completely behind the double buff Kha'Zix in a whole host of trouble as RSI is gonna take out Spook. Now Rosie hitting low, but tornadoes everywhere able to help him through. There's the Rune Prison there for Rise as Swiper picks up a double kill and a whitewash there for Chiefs in that fight.
Yeah, able to go 4 for 1, but look at the flashing health bars. They just got out of that one by the skin of their nails. Able to get through and potentially take another turret here. They will in the mid lane. Not potentially, they definitely will. And this is just going to grow the gold lead even further. Now up to 10,000 gold. And wow, with the composition and how they're playing it, Chiefs look much better and much more controlled this game.
Yeah, and as I said, I felt like they maybe weren't breaking through enough, but I think they went back and shopped was the key thing there. Very greedy of Chiefs. They're going to stay out on the map and keep getting farm. But once they went back, shopped, Swiffer's like, yeah, I'm going in. Don't know if he expected the Lantern to happen there and kind of put him into a 4v1, but worked it anyway. They was able to pick up, I believe, a double kill in that last fight. And Baron pressure is very real here now as well for Chiefs.
Yeah, and Captain Boots coming out of Janna. So people running away towards her will be going even faster with that movement speed buff.
It's so good. It's like an extra bit of Janna passive, it feels like. Yeah. Whether you're running away or running towards them. As long as you position yourself right, Captain's just awesome.
And we see that the shining light really on the side of Zero is the fact that Chenny Boy, 3-3-1, he's nearly picked up his death cap. If he gets a good shockwave and they get maybe a 3v5, they might be able to swing this game slowly back into their favor. They've done a lot better this time around of controlling Chiefs' movements around the map, but I just think that the 3-1-1 is what has been key to shutting down what was a good team fight comp coming in.
I love the distortion upgrade from Swiper as well, which I just noticed. Oh, so we're sitting on a ward. RSI knows. Oh, Oriana's here too.
Trying to bait it in with Ori.
Yeah, the death coming in. A great shockwave there from Chenny Boy and Swiffer. Forcing it out there. There's the blade surge. What a bait there by RSI.
Yeah, really well played coming out of Zero. Just the whole team. That's what communication is all about. Yeah, go up, bait him to go in on you. We know that he's a fed one and that he's going to be very confident, able to get a nice shockwave in there, get Aurelia start rolling a little bit more. And we've said it before, Aurelia is a great late game carry.
Yep.
If you can get her to that point, as some aggression coming out in the mid lane, Rosie wants to start a fight.
Yeah, good box there from Duke. Will disengage the fight. But again, this three-man core that's central to the siege comp here for Chiefs. still very strong. Oh, here comes Rise.
They're still going in the top lane. They want to try and push this to what would be an inhibitor and then just back off and not try any further. But Rise able to take this turret up.
Yeah. This is the base race that they really don't want to opt into. Zero now going back. Teleport actually being burnt by Aurelia as well. And that will force the Chiefs away, it seems like. Do not want to come into this fight without Zed.
So a kill and 2 turrets for Zero. Once again, Zero looking like they can get some jobs done.
Oh,
and they're not done.
Way too far forward. He doesn't want to be there. Pops the Seraph to give himself a life. Spook gets hooked up there, repelled out of the way. Goes off towards Kha'Zix. He's forced to flash as well. Thresh actually receives too much damage. Goes down. Kha'Zix caught by Cocoon as well. Will get picked up there for the double. Zed not even there. A good position there for Zero, but some really nice Cocoons from Spooks pick up 2 clean kills.
But we talked about how good their disengage is. When you see an Elise and a Janna, do not chase them. They can just keep CCing you, knocking them up. Radiant had no one near him. So many free auto attacks coming through, and Chenny Boy wasn't there with a shockwave. This is going to mean that a free Baron going across to the side of Chiefs and 2 kills. What looked like was the start of a comeback for Zero now blows the game right back out to the point that they started from.
Yeah. And that gold lead's still massive here, about 9,000 gold between these two teams as Chenny Boy will begin to solo the Dragon. Coke is going to join him soon, and it's a nice bit of gold here for Zero, but that Baron buff probably means that the Chiefs are looking to end the game once again around that 30-minute mark. Just take that big surge of mid-game gold that they've accrued in this game. And with Baron buff, they should be able to break the base, it seems.
Yeah, and Zero played the start of that very well. The teleport came in, forced them off the turret, meant that no objectives would go in their favor, and they picked up 2 for free. But it's just a little bit of inexperience, a little bit of over-committing on what is a great disengage comp. And I guess when you don't play against people that play their champions like Spooks and Rosies do, where maybe they miss a skill shot every now and again, that's just not what happens out of this Chiefs lineup. They just played that so well, able to kite back, and now they've got the Baron buff. As you said, they're looking to push in and siege these inner turrets.
Yeah, they've got 3 pink wards around that Baron, by the way. Duke's going to get caught up there by Rosies, pops him for a little bit of free gold, and again, Chiefs just moving that vision control further forward. And they've got plenty of split push options as well. Rise, massive here for Swiper. Not to mention that very scary Zed. He's now got a red pot alongside his last Whisper Blade and the Ghost Blade in there as well.
Yeah, Yomu is such a fun item on Zed, just making sure that you can catch up to people after you use your Shadow. And the extra burst potential that comes out when he's using his ultimate as well. Just great augmentation there with his whole kit.
Now, you know, it doesn't happen that often with Zed, but if you, with a Ghost Blade, you can actually afford to get into straight up auto attack walls and just demolish people.
Yeah, especially with his passive. Zed's passive very underrated with the amount of extra damage that it can pop out. It's generally said it's very useful for CSing, but late game, of course, it is fantastic as well. And we see RSI just having so much damage trying to deal with this split pushing Zed.
Yeah, he's got 0 extra armor and just getting shrunked here by Swiffer, who's going to continue to hound down this turret. Big wave pushing it for Chiefs up towards the top as well, so they can probably rotate once that wave moves down and look for, you know, do the even further apart 4-1 and just pressure these turrets even more. And Zero, they are stuck in their base until this Baron wears off at least.
Yeah, well, with the armor Swiper has actually picked up, I wouldn't be surprised if once again they just go 1-3-1 and put Swiper in the top lane, because I don't know who you send up against him at the moment, potentially Gorky, but I think he just runs over the top of it.
Yeah, and they're going to see the turret anywhere. They don't even need to fight here. Spooks almost gets the last auto attack off, but they're going to be able to clean out this turret very quickly. Again, a massive slow push started by Swiper in the top lane. Just, you know, about to surge onto that. And this could actually be perfect side wave manipulation here by Chiefs to pretty much hit all 3 turrets at once.
Yeah, and we see that now they've rotated into the middle. Bottom wave has hit. Mid lane about to go down.
Yep, they're going to push in here, the Chiefs. We'll see what happens. There's the turret going down. Spooks will take that out. And Caitlin's going to get kill action to Chenny Boy. There's Oriana. A little too far forward, it seems, going to get picked off there. Inhibitor go down as well. And look at that. Top wave just pushing in at the right time. They're going to be able to take even more now as well.
Yeah, so they'll be able to pick up the second inhibitor, definitely. With 30 seconds still left. Wow, and another kill.
Just so aggressive. They're diving straight on there when they sense they can get a kill. Duke on the Thresh getting low here. So Swimmer is going absolutely ham on that Zed. Getting the double, forced to flash out, but he picks up all the kills here. Swiper as well gets the last one. He's going to go in there as well. Almost takes out Kha'Zix through the Hexbringer shield. And the Chiefs here in dominating fashion, as they are known to do. 2-0 win here in the upper bracket set. Is our first game here. The Oceanic final round of 8.
Strategically, a much better game coming out of the Chiefs. Played that one textbook style. Able to pick up a nice 2-0 for themselves. Really looking forward to seeing them in the next round.
Yeah, great stuff there from Chiefs. Then again, a team that kind of went from almost solo queue superstars in a sense, who was known for continually dominating lanes and winning that way. It's nice to see them pick so specifically, strategically, and be able to pull up a comp like that.
Yeah, and Zero on the other side, they're of course knocked down into the lower brackets. They had some moments of brilliance, you have to say, a little bit over-aggressive, so if they can change that part of their game up, get another nice team fight comp going in to tomorrow matches, look for them to come up and try and shake the tournament up a little bit.
Oh yeah, I mean, again, you know, you come in as a team, as we saw in the video before, you know, they know they're the underdogs, but that's dangerous. You know, first of all, you don't want to lose to the underdogs. Nobody wants that. But, you know, if they start taking games, upsets do happen, as we have seen. If you guys have been following Worlds at all, I know you were very upset by the level of upsets that happened in the last few stages of the groups, but what a great game there by Chiefs, and much more commanding than Game 1, I feel like. Definitely found their feet.
Yeah, we questioned the team comp that came out in Game 1. Was Zillion really the right pick in that middle lane? But then Game 2, the fact that they saw what the comp was on the other side and then picked a comp to combat that is just impressive. As you said, we haven't really seen it that much out of them, so much better play.
Yeah, I mean, everyone playing well. It's nice to see Swiper just doing Swiper things in the top lane, freezing till his heart's content.
Yeah, he played that so well. As we see, going into a little bit of a replay here, this is where they think that they actually catch out Radier here with a shockwave, but nothing really comes of it. A little bit of miscommunication, and then the counter engage that comes through. I think this is where Swiffer actually gets taken on a nice ride with his ultimate into the middle of the team. And from here, he just does so much work. Able to burst down the Corki, even with the team there. Dies to the Ignite here. Teleport comes in from Swiper. And at this stage of the game, you just don't want to be anywhere near that rise. And just Chenny Boy played this team fight nicely, but the rest of his team was just a little bit too far behind, not able to do much. And if you only hit one person with a shockwave, you have to make sure that's a catch.
Yeah, the death sentence just missed there onto Radier as well, which almost maybe could have got him out from under the turret, but didn't quite work out there in the end. A great play game by Zero, though. Again, against a team with the pedigree like Chiefs, you come in kind of thinking, okay, you know, whatever. Probably gonna lose 0-2 here, but played really well. And Chiefs, you know, looked a little more solid in game 2 especially, but mortal for sure. I mean, you showed that last event, but even just starting things up, it's going to be a long weekend of League.
Oh, it definitely is. Like, if you just take one clip from that game to show how the Chiefs can sometimes get lost around the map, game 2 where they played well, they got caught out in a split push in top lane, Swiper went down, and they were able to lose 2 turrets. If Zero hadn't have gone over aggressive there, that would have been 3 objectives for absolutely no response. So other teams will be looking at these videos and saying, you know what, Chiefs, yeah, they're a fantastic team, but we still don't think they're unbeatable.
And it's interesting to see maybe what else comes out now as well, because they've shown that they're going to play. They're happy to play at least 2 different kinds of strategies. They're actually very, very different. The aggressive mid-game comp in game 1, and basically just a siege comp in game 2. So interesting to see what happens here. Looks like we'll be cutting over to a break, guys. We are done for esports for the day, kind of. The Oceanic Regional will be done for the day, but we've got way more coming up, guys. Stay tuned to League of Legends, stay to EB Expo 2014.
Hey, beautiful.
We still on for dinner?
Time for 9 o'clock. Ha! 9 o'clock, right?
How about 8:30 at the vegan place?
Actually, I'm in the mood for barbecue.
Sounds good.
Take a call and stay in the game. With the Plantronics rig, headset, and mixer, life comes to games like never before.